Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another G.I. Joe review. This is actually something I picked up relatively recently on a chance. I actually had a chance to do a little hunting, stopped by my local Target and grabbed it. It's the Cobra Invasion Team 3-pack. This is the Wave 2 3-pack from the Retaliation line. I know what some of you are saying. I haven't done the Wave 1 second pack yet, but getting to it. I've already removed the tray and figures from the box, so don't think I just bought an empty box. Down the side here, it does feature the action feature of the set. At least, one of the figures has an action figure. It's another parachute. You will not be seeing the parachute in this review. Go watch my Cobra Trooper review if you want to know why. On the back, you have a nice Photoshop action poses of the various figures in the set. This comes with Storm Shadow, okay? A Red Invasion Trooper, which is basically a shock trooper with the parachute harness. And finally, a very, very good Firefly. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Top has a little bit of the bio about Roadblock being a ninja commando. Here's the cross-sell across the bottom with the G.I. Joe Ninja Strike Team, or the heck it's called, Tactical Ninja Team. This features Mouse, Snake Eyes, and I do believe Sergeant Airborne. Yeah, look, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but it's a funny little thing, but even though Roadblock never used a katana sword, the big marketing push for Retaliation and the figures are the ninja tie-ins. So, yeah, I guess every G.I. Joe pack or whatever is going to be ninja something. But let's get on with the review. Starting us off in no particular order is Storm Shadow. Now, in interest of full disclosure, I want to make note of two things before we begin. Number one, in ease of the reviewing process, I am using a stand. The stand was not included with the figures, as is with all the Retaliation figures. I was able to get the figures to stand on their own, off camera, but because I really don't want to waste time fiddling with them to get them to stand on camera, I am using a figure stand. Number two, as you can see, he can hold the arrow that comes with the bow, but he can wedge it between the fingers. It does have the little notching and stuff, and it's actually staying a lot better than it was before. I'm sure if I fiddle with it some more, I could figure something out, but seeing how I'm not even sure if he's gripping it properly, the pictures on the box is very misleading. Just leave it like that. The arrow, of course, can be stored in the back here. There is a little slot. And something that's not mentioned anywhere on the instructions is there are some clips here on the back that you can just basically slot the bow into. So he can carry all of his weapons. I'm sure if you fool around with it, you can have it look better. I'm just doing it for quickness. Let's come in and get a detailed look at Storm Shadow. I've gone ahead and removed Storm Shadow's backpack. We'll get to that in a minute. There's one way to describe this figure. It's white. He's very white with the red Cobra logo and little splotches of gray for no apparent reason. Having seen the movie by this point, I'm sure you all realize this is not a movie-accurate figure. I'm sure this is a repaint of some sort. I'm not sure it's the preview pack, which means it's not the Wave 1 guy, but maybe the Wave 2. But he's okay. I mean, the high collar here, unfortunately, does block a little bit of the side-to-side head movement, and nodding very slight. Other than that, he does have the usual joints, ball and swivel at the shoulders, rotation at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, basically the now standard up and down wrist pivot on both arms, chest crunch, rotation there. Ball jointed hips, double jointed knees. There is actually forward and back ankle pivot that's, believe it or not hindered by the cuffs of his pants. Now, I don't know if this is coming up on camera, but it does look like there's a little bit of a wash on my figure. There is also, unfortunately, some paint splotching down around the cuffs of the pants. That's just how it is with a white figure, I mean, these do get dirty very quickly. There is also, for some reason, an indentation in the back that does not have anything to do with the pack he comes with. It doesn't affect pegging the backpack in, but it doesn't help pegging the backpack in. So, don't know why it's there. As you probably noticed when I first showed you the figure, and assumed due to it being Storm Shadow, he does come with some ninja weapons. This is the backpack that I do believe came with the Renegades Storm Shadow. Not 100% sure, would have to double check that. It does open. It just pulls apart. Don't know why. Nice little feature. Oh. I'm going to be careful pegging it back together. But like I said, he can hold the bow and arrow, all the swords, all his weapons. Let's take a moment and look at the swords. They're okay. These are clearly the older model swords. Really don't have a defined blade or tip. I still think this kind of swords that came with Renegade Snake Eyes were a little bit better. The handle's very nice, textured grip, but other than that, the bow, really just want to give you a quick look at it before. This is actually a one of those compound bows, no string or anything, just it's just there. Interesting enough, I don't think he uses that kind of bow in the movie. I'm not even sure if he did use a bow in the movie. I know he's using his sword. So yeah, I mean, 3 packs, the accessories are always going to be a little bit on the meager side, but it's still a nice loadout for Storm Shadow. Okay, here's the second figure, the Cobra Invasion Trooper, aka the Red Shock Trooper, aka the Crimson Shock Trooper. Joes have a long history with Red Cobra Troopers, and this is the repaint of the Great Shock Trooper from the Pursuit of Cobra line, all in red. It's a very nice, dark, amber crimson. He does come with the parachute pack that came with the Wave 1 Retaliation Cobra Trooper, as well as a selection of accessories from the Shock Trooper. Not all of them, just a few. I went ahead and basically gave him his small submachine gun, the helmet and goggles, with the harness here. This is basically what I would consider to be his paratrooping in look. What I'll do now is pause here, switch him out, the vest out, and we'll give him a look in his ground assault, what I call the ground assault look, and articulation. Okay, here's the Invasion Trooper with his little costume change. He does now look more like a traditional Shock Trooper, just in red. And like I said, it's a very nice red. You do have patches of gray down the arm, gray gloves, gray elbow pads, gray knee pads, and gray boots. This is the same base figure as the Pursuit of Cobra version, so it's the same level of articulation. I did put his, tactical vest on. I know a lot of fans, myself included, really felt that in the Pursuit of Cobra line, this could have been the Trooper, and we didn't need to get the traditional blue-suited Cobra Trooper. In fact, I would have been happy if these were just the standard Retaliation Troopers. As you can see right back here, I did go ahead and plug in the walkie-talkie into the back. That is one of his accessories, and you do have the Cobra logo going down the back, as well as right there on the shoulder, the red insignia. Articulation is the same, full head rotation. Up and down movement is slightly hindered due to the collar of the balaclava. Same arm articulation as we've seen with Storm Shadow, including the enhanced wrist articulation. Ooh, I stumbled there. Ball jointed hips, double jointed knees, same. Ankle rotation, forward and back ankle pivot, no rockers. Yeah, let's take a look at his accessories. As I mentioned in my introduction of the figure, he comes with a stunted assortment of the Pursuit of Cobra accessories. He doesn't have the shield, he doesn't have the electrocuted staff, he doesn't come with the sledgehammer, which I would have liked to have seen, but kind of makes sense if he's a paratrooper, you don't want that extra weight. But here's the paratrooper harness, which, you know, we saw when I first showed you the figure. The small submachine gun. He does come with this great tactical rifle, this taser pistol, as well as the gas mask, now done in a clear pinkish plastic. I'll put that on him at the end when we do the final look at all the figures. But I think he actually comes with the most accessories, or close to it, in the set, and I'm really happy about that. Okay, I'll say it right now. This is the reason to buy the set. Now, before we begin, I want to mention that on my Firefly, his ankle right here was a little jimmied. It wasn't pegged in all the way into the leg, and I have tried pushing it in more, but I'm afraid to push it due to probably breaking the pin or something. But that should not take away from the enjoyment of this figure. It hasn't taken away from mine, and I'm sure yours will be perfectly fine. This is an incredible figure. I think one of the great things about G.I. Joe and 3 3/4 inch figures by Hasbro in general is that when they do a movie line, it's easier to mix in movie accurate figures with, you know, cartoon, comic, you know, just general toy aesthetic figures. I mean, this is a Firefly. I mean, he doesn't look like this in the movie. This is how he looks in the comics and cartoon, and this is fantastic. My good friend Justin Bell had mentioned in his review that they went ahead and sculpted a new web gear that fits properly, and it's just great. You know, I don't want to gush too much, so let's go in for a detailed look. The one thing that should grab you right away is this new head sculpt. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure if this is Ray Stevenson wearing a mask, but it is Firefly. Just coming down the front, you know, yeah, you have the grenades on one side, the pouches on the other. One thing I find a little odd is that he has not one, but 2 packets of dynamite, little time bombs, that are stuck to his body. Now, if I was a Joe, I'd shoot one of these, and these are removable. They peg right into the web gear. It actually looks a lot better if you have them there. If not, you have these little pegs sticking out. Moving down, now the main body used for this was actually 30th anniversary Lifeline. So you do have here on his side what was originally medical gear, you know, just done in gray, is now, you know, various explosive type devices. He does have a boot sheath. He does actually. That comes with 2 knives, which I find kind of odd because there's no place to put the other knife, so you can give it to one of the other figures. You know, coming up the other leg again, there's this great light gray, dark gray camo pattern. I'm not sure if it's really coming up on the camera. It looks kind of swirly, like shadows in the fold of the fabric. That's really cool. But here's the holster. He has a removable handgun, which is nice because if you remember in the movie, Firefly really used handguns more than like rifles or anything like that. I do believe the chest here is new since it doesn't have that chest holster. And as I mentioned, the web gear is new, but for articulation, head can rotate left and right. There is that some up and down movement. There is chest articulation there, but it is hindered due to the vest. There was also chest articulation with the shock trooper. I forgot to mention that, but again, hindered by the vest. Ball and joint socket, like everybody else. Bend at the elbow, swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. With the enhanced wrist articulation, that should basically be pointed out that this is a 3-pack. Usually, bare minimum cost going into the set, but you have a 3-pack. All 3 figures have that enhanced wrist articulation. I think that's fantastic, and I think that should assuage any concerns that there was going to be limited articulation in Retaliation. It's not. It's there. Ball jointed hips, double jointed knees, ankle articulation forward and back. No pivot, but side to side. Like I said, this ankle unfortunately sticks out just enough that it kind of gives him a little jimmied look. I mean, you can make it work. And interesting enough, when I was getting the figures ready, he was the easiest one to stand without a figure stand. Okay, well, I showed you the handgun, time bombs, and knife, but these are the other accessories that Firefly comes with. This great little simple backpack. At first, I was kind of disappointed. I would have hoped he would have come with maybe low lights backpack just so he could throw his stuff in. But since it's actually hollow on the back, and that's actually a pretty good thing. The reason it's good is because it can go around the little time bomb on the back there. I mean, this is like really cool. And nice little touch. It fits on perfectly, as you saw in the intro. He does come with this sweet, I guess, grenade launcher. Now, this is where I get a little iffy, because he comes with a grenade launcher and then this pump shotgun, tactical shotgun. I would have liked to maybe see him come with a small automatic weapon, because really, I think, this is supposed to be like a grenade launcher. Maybe this is some sort of incendiary shell launcher. And I think they're maybe pushing the explosive part of Firefly a little too much. I mean, he's more of a saboteur, and he does that different ways. But both are great weapons, and I'm glad. I mean, I really like this grenade launcher. Alright, I've gone ahead and brought everybody back in for a final shot here. Just so you can see them all together with their secondary accessories and stuff like that. As you can see, I have them all standing now without a stand. That's actually a very good thing to mention. Can I recommend this set? Yes. The Storm Shadow figure, take it or leave it. I mean, it's another Storm Shadow. It's not even movie accurate. The Invasion Trooper, Shock Trooper, whatever you want to call them, I would not buy multiples of this set just for him. So, I mean, you get one, that's fine. You can make him like an officer or something. But this Firefly, until we get the ultimate Firefly, which I think is going to have a more movie deco, and I think some different parts used for him, this is fantastic. This is the best Firefly you can get. It's just, I can't say enough about it. The biggest compliment I can give to the Firefly is, once I'm done with this review, the Invasion Trooper, Shock Trooper, and Storm Shadow are basically going back in the box, and I'm leaving Firefly out to noodle with and fool around with. I mean, it's that fun of a figure. So yeah, this is your old pal Chuck for Storm Shadow, Firefly, and the Shock Trooper, or Invasion Trooper, whatever you want to call them. I mean, it's going back and forth. We'll see you next time.